Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Good, I hope. It's that time yet again. We've got a ton of cool Marvel Rivals Season 2.5 news that has just dropped over like the last couple days or so. And with me being the Marvel Rivals obsessed fanboy that I am, means that I want to go over and quickly talk about it. We'll be going over the main information and some other cool little details I noticed in the trailers and things like that. So yeah, let's get started. Now, before we go on to the main thing that I want to talk about today, let's first go over the new convoy map, Arakko. So, obviously from this footage here, Ultron has successfully taken over and converted Arakko, along with several other characters, but I'll get to that in a couple minutes. For those who don't know, Arakko is Krakoa's sister island, which makes this really funny considering in the comics, Nimrod, who, for those who don't know, is basically a super sentinel hell-bent on eradicating mutant kind and Krakoa. He took give or take 6 years to pull it off, and Ultron did basically the same to Arakko in 2 months? Anyway, I just thought that was a funny little side note. Back on topic though, Arakko looks amazing. I know this type of aesthetic is kind of expected when it comes to anything Ultron, but man, do I love Ultron's, aesthetic for cities. It reminds me a lot of Ultron City from that one Young Avengers animated movie, which I also highly recommend, by the way. Anyway, Arakko is already basically confirmed to be loaded with a ton of Easter eggs, judging by this trailer. In fact, in the trailer itself, we can see, by the gods, Ultron got Warlock. My boy. My sweet boy. Look at how they massacred my boy. You know, side note, jokes aside, it's really cool to see Warlock in general in Marvel Rivals. He's a character that I love, but I never thought we'd actually get him in. And I know that's crazy considering all the things we've talked about. He just feels like he'd be a pick that'd kind of get sidestepped, I guess. That being said, it's kind of a monkey's paw here considering he's, converted. But assuming he's not permanently lost to Ultron here, does this mean there's a chance we could potentially get Warlock playable? Because that would be so sick. Warlock is probably easily my favorite member of the New Mutants, but considering my other favorite X-Men characters that I've talked about on the channel, this is probably not a surprise to literally any of you, but that's besides the point right now. Anyway, so far from what I could tell, aside from Warlock himself, in this shot we see a bunch of Iron Man Sentinels and Doombots, and then another type of drone, but I can't quite place what it is, so if you know what it is, let me know in the comments below. We've also got a production area for Ultron drones, Arakko herself who has been converted by Ultron, and then here we have Xtron, Aura farming on a throne, which considering Ultron lines up pretty perfectly, I'm not gonna lie. But most importantly, and honestly, this one somehow beats Warlock as my favorite cameo. But we can see Ultron 1 at the end of the trailer, and it just makes me so happy, man. I love this design for Ultron. It's so charming. There's not much you can actually do with it in these days, but I just love seeing, the trash can Ultron, He's great. And speaking of Ultron, we finally got a look at gameplay for Hank Pym's favorite robotic son. And unironically, he might replace Sue as my strategist main, because by the gods, he looks like so much fun. And complete improv part here, but I wrote this entire part of the script here to be predictions for his abilities, but within literally the last 10 minutes or so, his abilities dropped, and I got him pretty much accurate. So he basically plays like a more genocidal version of Zenyatta from Overwatch. Just not the one you're probably thinking of. His primary ability looks like he attaches a drone to a teammate, and then that heals him and any other teammate in the AoE. And then his other ability is honestly just as interesting. Using that drone, it looks like he can give himself and any teammates in the vicinity shields as well. And then his ultimate, oh boy, his ultimate, it is beautiful. Ultron summons a team's worth of Ultron drones and he just obliterates anything he's pointing at, man. It's perfect. He looks like he's going to be a very fun addition to strategists, and honestly, I cannot wait to try him out myself. Now, quickly on to some bonus information here, but we're getting a unique limited time game mode in the form of Ultron's Battle Matrix protocol. and it's a new strategy game focused mode where he plays an Ultron running simulations. I've heard people compare this to Teamfight Tactics, but I've never played that, so I have no idea how accurate that is. But personally, I'm very excited to try it. On top of that, we got to look at a couple new skins. We have Extron, E-Groot, and then some cyber-converted Hawkeye. And that looks amazing. But for now, I'll just focus on Extron. But yeah, I'm 100% picking this skin up. Anytime they give Ultron a cape, it's just, I don't know, man. It tickles my brain bumps, you know? He just looks so cool. Like, side note here, Phalanx Ultron is probably a contender for my all-time favorite Ultron design. In fact, speaking of Ultron designs, before we hop off the video, let's quick-fire some Ultron skins I'd like to see, just off the top of my head. First, I'm sure MCU Ultron is going to be a given, but I kind of hope we either get, like, the prototype Ultron from the very start of the movie, Prime Ultron from the end of the movie, or even just What If Ultron. I'd be okay with the main body he uses throughout the movie, but I personally prefer the other designs. And then, for comic things, I'd like to see Classic Ultron, Pimtron, what's it called? The Crimson Cowl, one where he's just, like, wearing the Crimson Cowl outfit, that would work. And then, most importantly, Ultron 15, baby, my boy, my beloved, I love Cowboy Ultron. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. We should have more information drop over the next couple days, but I'll cover that when I have, you know, partner privileges going on. So, for now, this is what I'll be talking about. But yeah, anyways, as always, if you're looking to support the channel, you can now become a true supporter through the membership. Members get exclusive content such as loyalty badges, super cool emotes, early access to new videos, along with a shout out at the end of every video, and other various perks. Oh, and if you play Fortnite and would like to support me through that, make sure to use code Yerocmai in the Fortnite item shop. We've got a lot of cool things coming to the game in the future, so I greatly appreciate the support. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, go watch Pastra's video on Ultron if you know next to nothing about him aside from like MCU stuff. You know, it's actually really informative.